Well, guys, it looks like dark days ahead for employees over at TikTok and AirBNB, but not because these companies are doing poorly, quite the opposite, they're doing fantastically, and they've fully embraced artificial intelligence. But with this adoption of AI, it leaves a lot of human beings, well, not actually being needed anymore. AI is solving a lot of the problems that humans used to solve. In this video, I think it's important that we examine what's happening at these companies so that you can be prepared for what's probably coming to your company in the brand near future. And because you know what's interesting to me, guys, is we've covered a lot of stories where engineers and code writers are being laid off, developers, etc. But in the case over at TikTok and Airbnb, it's a very different group of people that are being laid off. And again, I think at the end of the day, if you're not focused on your career and your trajectory, you might find yourself in a dangerous, bad place, like me walking around when it's about to start storming. And by the way, if you appreciate the videos, if you have a question, if you'd like me to analyze something that you find relevant, hit the join button below, join the community. It's completely free for your first 30 days. And it really helps for me to bring you, the channel members, more of what you want to see. So just click that join button below and I'll see you in the comments. Anyway, let's first look at TikTok, right? So what happened at TikTok? Well, they completely closed down their Nashville office and fired 250 employees. And what's interesting about that office is a substantial portion of that office is comprised of content moderators. These are the people that flag content, decide whether something is violent or inauthentic or harassment, you know, and so on and so forth. And quite frankly, a job I would never want to have. Considering this type of stuff that people put online, it's absolutely insane. And I mean, the reality is that AI is becoming better at flagging this content. And quite frankly, they're probably doing a pretty bad job of it, because have you seen the content on TikTok recently? It is crazy. I don't know if you've seen that Perez Hilton video that's gone viral. I didn't watch the whole thing, but some of the images that came out of that are absolutely insane. The fact that that video is able to continue to go is pretty shocking. Anyway, when it comes to content moderating, companies are really leaning into AI, and it makes sense because, quite frankly, AI is really good at looking at photos, looking at video, listening to audio, and trying to contextualize what it sees. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've used AI video and photos to diagnose issues with washing machines, appliances, automobiles, all sorts of issues, and I found it to be extremely helpful. And that's basically, guys, what's happening over at TikTok. And guys, again, this is the worst AI is ever going to be. It's only gonna get better. It's only gonna be more effective. It's just really good at this type of thing. And you know, anyone who's in this field, if you're in a field that is responsible for like reviewing video and reviewing photos and imagery and stuff like that, you have got to be thinking to yourself, how can I use AI to do my job better and faster? Because that is absolutely where it's going. You know, radiology, it's interesting to me. I heard this stat the other day, but you know, what radiologists are going to review x-rays and MRIs, they're looking for cancer and stuff like that. And what we found is that AI, and this has been true for a while, AI is actually 50% more effective at finding cancer cells than a radiologist is. Very powerful. But at the same time, there's actually more radiologists now than there were in the past. How is that possible? How is it possible where AI gets better, you need more people in that industry? You're gonna have to stay tuned to the channel and subscribe, because I'm definitely interested and gonna be covering that. But you know, my hypothesis here is that, well, AI just makes those people more effective. You want more effective people, and AI makes you more effective. So if you're not adapting these tools in these industries because you're scared it's gonna take your job, I think that's the opposite way that you should take it. It's the opposite route that I'm taking. I'm using AI to write funnels and write copy, and get better and better every day. And you know, I realize that AI is gonna eat up a lot of marketing guys, but I'm gonna use the AI to get better and more fast at what I do. Anyway, so that's what's happening at TikTok. Airbnb has a kind of a similar story, but a little bit different. I think it's very interesting. So Airbnb stock has really surged over the past several years. Over the past week, it was announced that their share surged 14% to a 4 year high. And what's crazy about this to me is like the world is in turmoil right now. You've got wars popping off. Oil is more expensive than it has been, but people are still traveling and they're still booking on Airbnb. They had a really, really good quarter. Again, over 4-year high, which is pretty crazy. And the CEO, Brian Chesky, says, quote, AI is the best thing to ever happen to Airbnb, end quote. Again, really surprising because you've got all this drama happening in the world, A, and B, people are more and more using tools like ChatGPT and Claude to kind of like plan travel itineraries. Well, the CEO is saying that this is actually helping them rather than hurting. And I think one of the biggest places where this is helping Airbnb, according to the press release, is in customer service. The customer support cost per booking declined 16% year over year, and this was driven primarily by improvements to their AI assistant. The AI assistant in-app has gotten better and better and better, and they no longer need humans to address these problems anymore. And 16%, it's only going to get bigger and bigger than that. And this makes perfect sense to me. Even just today, I was working within QuickBooks and I had this problem. I was trying to figure it out. In the past, what I would have done, I would have sent an email, or I would send in a chat ticket or something along those lines, maybe even giving them a call based on my account, my subscription. Instead, what I do, I went to the AI assistant. It told me exactly what to do. Exactly what to do. Guys, a problem that would have taken me a half hour in the past to solve took me about 30 seconds to solve. That's just one example. I mean, if you're like me and you're in all these different softwares all the time, every platform now has AI assistants, some better than others, but it's absolutely crazy. And while they haven't had a big layoff at Airbnb, I think we can safely predict this. And the next 6 months or so, they're going to say, well, our AI assistant is so effective, we don't need humans servicing these calls anymore. Because again, guys, there's only so many problems that need to be solved. And once these AI programs start solving those problems that humans used to solve, you're not going to need humans anymore. It just makes perfect sense. And this is not the first time that we've seen issues in the customer service world. We've seen Salesforce, Klarna, Block. I'll post links to these videos because we've covered mass layoffs at these companies. In some of these places, 50% of the customer service department just got axed overnight. But there was a problem that rolled out. And I think what we're seeing here is companies like Airbnb are starting to wisen up a bit. Airbnb did not file a warn notice or go through a mass layoff yet. They just notated that they're seeing a huge drop off in their customer service needs because the AI bots are getting better. But here's the problem that companies have run into when they fire too many customer service people too fast. The quality of the support drops and it leaves customers upset. And Airbnb certainly doesn't want that. Block, Salesforce, Klarna all ran into this problem and ended up having to hire back customer service staff in order to better service their clients, okay? And so what Airbnb, I believe, is doing here is they're noting the system is working, they're watching it closely, and maybe not going through mass layoffs, but starting to kind of look at gutting and cutting. They do not want their customer service quality control to drop. But here's the thing, guys. The AI software is there. It's doing a great job now. It is only going to get better. It is only going to get better. It is going to keep firing. And I'll tell you what, the less, as someone who's managed teams from 10 to 20 people, not huge teams, but I've managed these teams of 10 to 20 people, I can tell you that people are very complicated. We all have different needs, different schedules. We like different things. We go on vacations. We're unreliable, sometimes unresponsive. We're sluggish to get things done. The thing about an AI bot is it's just going to do what it needs to do. And sure, it's going to make mistakes, and you can iterate and improve. But I know my automations are going to fire off. I just know it's going to happen, and my workflows are going to fire off. And it's just easier. It's not to mention cheaper. Sure, it's cheaper, but it's also easier. So anyway, guys, if you're in customer service, in customer service, we haven't talked about it for a while, but I think it's time that we have that conversation because customer service is in a kind of wonky position. And just another side note, I know one of the top guys over at Intuit, and he tells me that there is huge pressure on him to learn AI and to implement AI more into everything that he does. And that's where you should really be. You should be absolutely implementing AI in as many places as you can. Start with just building on Agent once a week or something and just continuously improving and iterating, keeping yourself safe. And if you're in a spot where you're like, Mark, I don't know, I'm stuck, I need a career change. Career changes, I think, is also valuable. I would check out Course Careers. You don't need to go back to college. Please don't go back to university yet. Check out Course Careers. I'll post a link below. You get a 14-day free trial. They've got a ton of courses. They've been around for over 6 years, and they really have an emphasis on getting you hired. So it's not just necessarily about getting you trained and getting a certification, but actually getting you hired. They have a big connector marketplace, and I know that tech sales is one of the more popular offerings over there. I know a few of you guys have checked that out. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts below? What do you think? Is customer service completely cooked? I think it's completely cooked. I think it's completely cooked. I think that the AI is only going to get better. I think that quality control, you're going to have, you're going to go from teams of 100 to teams of 10. And I think it's only a matter of time before that happens. So if you're in customer service, you really got to be thinking about how you're going to adapt and adjust. So anyways, guys, I hope you appreciate the video. Have a great day. Hopefully I'll be back with blue skies in the near future, but it's the rainy season and we take what we can get. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. See ya. Peace.